What is up, legends? We are back, and what we're going to do today, obviously, you guys can see, is tier list. So I was approached this morning to sponsor a tier list. So I was like, I don't really want to do a tier list because it's kind of too early, but come to find out, and this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to do a tier list, that true damage is actually in the game, but it's in the game under fighting spirit. You can't do that until you SS a character, which is weird because it doesn't work like that again in CN. You have to actually, like, maybe limit break a character maybe 2 or 3 times, as you guys can see. Like this one, like this Balrog is only +4, and I have true damage. This definitely isn't like, SS rank. SS an equivalent to this game would be like +7 or 8. Which, in this game, I think it would be +8 as compared to this game. And this game, when you +8, you unlock the 4th slot right here, or +7 rather. You unlock the 4th gear slot, which unlocks your overall passive and stuff like this. So they kind of do the same thing, but a little bit different. With that said, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in, and if I did do a tier list, before I knew that we actually do have true damage in the game now, which is extremely exciting for me. I'm excited now. Like I was having fun and playing, but I wasn't excited. I'm excited now because that's in the game, which means that once I get my character strong enough, I can really start to have fun with combos, and that's gonna be lit in PvP when it's like RTA PvP and you actually have the true damage stuff, and you see what people got, and you got to try to stop them from getting true damage, because if certain characters get true damage, you're just dead, like 100% dead. Or if some type of support or lockdown control character gets their true damage combo off, GG. So with that said, we're going to start with Abel. Abel has okay life, and we're going to be using scaling because the same scaling is in global, you just can't see it, but it's still there. And people have confirmed this already, that when you put gear on characters, you can see a difference in where the gear scales and gives you more power according to whatever character you put on. So like if you had a B strength scaling character and you put like some strength on them, it'll give them like 1,000. Then you put it on somebody else who has like an A or S rank scaling, they get like 1,500 to 2,000 and stuff like that. So the scaling exists. It's just not in the UI. And I was actually told by a Chinese gamer that it wasn't in the UI for this in the beginning either. See, I don't remember everything from the beginning. I was there, and I have to go back and actually look at my own videos to see, and this wasn't there. So that's the thing. But Abel actually has gotten life even more to him. Now, he's very good PvE, as you guys know, with his shielding and tanking me and behold it down, but he is a god. Let me tell you, a god in RTA, in the draft mode. He is a god. He is annoying. If you saw the last video, like he just don't die. So that puts him, he's not super god tier, but he goes in S now because he's good at multiple things. Like there's some characters that's good at one thing, but he's all around good in everything. So heading over now, we have Adon. Let's go find the homie Adon. I want to do this thoroughly because obviously I'm being sponsored. I want to be slack, and they came to me because I have all this knowledge and I know all this stuff and can show this stuff. They wanted it thorough, so we're gonna do it thorough. His scaling, life is a B, his defense is an A, his strength is a B, and his speed is an A. Middle range speed. Now, what Adon does really well is he doesn't really have anything defensive. He's a very heavy hitter, balanced character, and he has extremely good push. He has his combo right here, which actually I can just show you. He has extremely good push, and this is crazy in draft mode. Like, he is definitely, like, if you put him with Makoto and Makoto do her special combo, and then he does it right after, they are in that firewall. No question about it, they're in that firewall, just with just 2 characters doing like just the two combos right there. So even if you get stopped after that and can't do the second and third combo with Adon and Makoto, straight up in the wall. Sadly, that's like the only thing he has. He's not good as far as strength scaling, so unless he's hitting the squishy character, it's just not good. And he does not have a 3. He only has a 1, and he has a true damage 1, which is cool because that means he can start the 2 damage combo. So sadly though, that doesn't make him an S. That makes him an A. Next up, we got Beast Zangief. Now, Beast Zangief is a little bit controversial because everybody thinks that he is like tank god tier tank, but he's really not a tank. He's balanced, but he's not a tank. He has okay life and okay strength, and he is okay on defense. Defense is all right. He has speed. So essentially what he is a support attacker. He's good for CC. That's what he is. He's really not supposed to be in front. And if you put him in front, you're pretty much going to get him killed. Especially like if you're doing that in global, and you're going to start to notice that he just get ran the hell over. Basically, like, because his life isn't that high and his defense is okay on top of that. And he doesn't really have anything that protects him. Like he don't get extra shielding. He don't get like super great defense scaling. A is all right. What he is specifically supposed to do is he is supposed to drop down on your head and spin to win, knock people forward, and get hype with this. Now, the crazy thing is that in global, he has the true damage already. He just has it. He has that already, which is like his best move. He literally doesn't go from 1 into 2 damage 1. He just has this already. So that's an interesting good change for him. But for me, what that does, being that he is very situational and not a lot of good stuff, he's not an A, because that would be like messed up. He's not an A. He gets S. He doesn't get SS. Now let's go to Bison. Now Bison, I really don't need to look at this over here because I can't see his scaling anyway, because I don't actually physically have him, and I don't have pieces of him either. If I had pieces of him, I would be able to physically do something about that, but I don't have pieces of him either. Like you see, I got pieces of Vega and stuff like that. None of him though. I don't know what happened with his banner. I think because I just didn't like him, because he just wasn't the character that he is currently now in global. Like I showed in the previous video, his stuff is just not. This was not great, so to speak. However, over in global, even if they nerf his immortality, he's still a SS because he has a lot of good utility in other places, and he's good in RTA and the wall. Not even counting, we're not talking about the immortality right now. He is good for push because everything he does is push. So he automatically goes SS. Like there's no debate. Even if they nerf him and lower his damage and limit his resurrection to 1 time, which I think is what was supposed to happen. Even if they did all that, he's still SS. So I know some people won't like that, but like, he's good. No, what you want me to say? I'm not gonna lie on the character. He's good. So next up is Blanka. Now Blanka, the homie Blanka, is an interesting character as well. Head down to him so we can show the scaling. Blanka is not great on life. So you really don't, he's balanced, so you really don't want to put Blanka in the front as a tank. And I think a lot of people get it twisted when it comes to balance. What balance really is paladins. And most of the time, paladins really shouldn't be in the front tanking and stuff like this. They're supposed to be supporting and doing stuff like that. They're supposed to be like in the middle or the back or stuff like that. And that's how Blanka is. Now Blanka has his shield, which does really well. You see his defense is really trash, so he should not be tanking. His attack is really trash. His speed is mid. So with all that said, Blanka's key thing is that he has a shield that he's going to put on the lowest person, a person in the danger of dying. Basically, he's going to put a shield on him. It's a very good shield. And his lightning combo AoE, which he will come out and do that, which is nice. It's super nice. That's not nice, but it's super nice. And then his true damage, he pretty much does that. He gets a nice push, which knocks down and then knocks up, which is extremely good. So I love the fact that true damage is actually in global. Like I'm like smiling right now. You probably can kind of hear it in my voice that I'm a little bit happy about that, because I was so concerned about that particular thing because it's such a good part of the game, and it's great. This is great. So now with that, there's not much difference between China and the global at this point. And I was told that the car system, even though I hate it, is in the game as well later on. I was told from a whale, basically, came in Discord. Like, the car system showed me some stuff. I was like, oh God, man, like why did... Anyway, that's a completely different situation. I'll leave that for a different video. But with those are two major differences. Now that those two things are confirmed actually in global, there's not much of a difference other than China is older. China's older and further along in the patch cycle. So that's very good for us, because that means that we're going to get a lot of the good stuff that China has eventually. But going back to this, Blanka himself, even with the shield, and he's going to A, because even with the shield and then the AoE and everything else like that, he doesn't excel too much of stuff. He's meant as support character, kind of like Beast Zan is, but Beast Zan has the pull in. He does a little bit more damage. He's faster. So obviously he should be an S, and Blanka is an A. So then we have Sea Viper. And by the way, I still think this is too early, by the way. And they had to convince me this morning to actually do this. But what made me do it is finding out that true damage is in the game. I would not have done this if true damage wasn't in this game. But Sea Viper is a nuke character. She is scary. And PvE when you face her, and she does crashing down. Holy crap. Like Jesus. Anyway, her life is A. Her scaling on defense is absolutely abysmal. So glass cannon completely. So you have to be careful of when you use her and where you put her. If you can get to her, she's just gonna keel over and die, because the A, even though it's an A, that's not a lot of life as far as scaling, and the defense makes it even worse. Her attack is one of the highest attacks in the game at S, and she is very slow. So she is meant to just be out there and do this move right here. This is that's her best move. It is so crazy and hits so hard. But then you have that, which is good push. But then you have true damage, which in global, it will change to this one. And she'll do a crashing down right there. The special crashing down, which if you notice when you fight her, she does this. So yeah, so as far as damage and everything else, she's really good as a nuke character. And I went back and forth on this one of where I really want to put Sea Viper, and being that she is such a squishy character and just really a one-trick pony, I had to put her in A. And I would like to put her up here, but she dies so quickly, and like I just can't. And I was actually using her and CN for a very long time, by the way, and the Ken team until I got Akuma, and Akuma just has better stats overall. I'm not gonna do China because I don't have everybody in China, so that wouldn't be fair to actually do that. And I've actually used and played everybody in global and have a good sense of them. Even though I've played a long time in China, I don't have everybody. So, and there's no way for me to actually do anything with that. So it wouldn't be fair to me for me to do that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I like to be on point with stuff like that. And it just wouldn't be fair for me to make the tier list like that. And then you can't see the scaling either. Nah. Cammy. Cammy is an interesting character, and Cammy is an assassin character. Cammy is one of the scariest characters in this game, hands down. And her, as you can see, her life is not that great because she's an assassin character. Her defense is not that great. So again, one trick pony, but unlike Sea Viper, she is one of the fastest characters in the game and one of the hardest hitting characters in the game. And she has this move, which super armors. Basically, you can't knock her out of it. Is ridiculous. And then it's targets on the top of that as well. Then she has that which pops up, which also changes in her damage variation, which she pops up and then drops back down again into that. So she is probably one of the most scarier push through type of characters in the game, and which makes me give her a S. Same overall. All right, so now we have Chun-Li. Miss Chun, one of the more fun characters in the game. All right, Chun-Li, as you can see, is pretty similar and slightly faster than Cammy. Similar life, similar defense and stuff. The difference with Chun-Li is that Chun-Li has a defense break, and the defense break goes through the entire fields. Like, it's amazing. It's straight up amazing. It does not do that in China, by the way. When she does this, the Kikosho, it flies through, but it doesn't hit everybody behind. And global, the difference in specials is global a little bit more arcadey, so it goes all the way through. It doesn't do that in China over here, so that's an advantage, that she's actually better in global than she is in China. But when she actually gets her true damage combo right here, this is one of the scariest things to get hit by in this game, because she's going to drag you like Makoto and then pop you in the air, and if you don't have a special to get out of it, that is about 3 or 4 seconds that you were sitting there looking at her twirl her feet at you. So yeah, so obviously I'm gonna put her up here, and the reason why is because of the defense break and the fact that she works in a lot of combos overall. She's just a really good character, and they gave that character for free. So she deserves this actual spot. Like, she hits hard, she AoE hits hard. The only bad thing that she has is her AoE 2 combo. It's trash. It just is. I guess they had to do something to balance her out, but yeah. So next up, we have Cody. Where's base Cody? There he is. No, base Cody, as you guys can see, is he does have the purple 2 damage combo, which is nice for him. But you see all his scaling is everything. Like, there's literally just so many characters that you can just do better than this. He does not have a 2. He does not have a 3. All his scaling is just bad. It's just unfortunate for the homie Cody. The homie Cody gonna go down in B, because he does have the hurricane, and the hurricane actually does good damage, and if they're bunched up around you, it does a little bit of knockback, so it's pretty good. All right, so next up is Combat Guile. Combat Guile is a fun unit. You see me using him a lot. He's one of the characters that I hang on and actually use. And what Combat Guile is really good at is range. And you see right here, he has an A on life, which is meh. His actual defense is a D, which is just terrible. But he has one of the higher. It's not like in the 30K. Now we're doing this based off of level 40 range, but you notice that his strength is not as high as everybody else, that S right there, and then he's very slow. So he's meant to be as a setup character and take advantage of range of almost everything that he got is going to be range and going to be you taking advantage. Now, this special right here, when you use this special, if they are near him, when he's doing this, he pops them up. However, if they are not near him and he fires it out, it goes all the way across the screen and knocks everybody down, which it is amazing. And he has a grenade, which he spams out a lot. Does pretty good. Has his passive right here. And this is literally like his hallmark right here. This move, because this move is fast. And on top of being fast, it will cause a combo break whoever it hits. So I use this a lot in PvE right now, when especially like those people who are stuck on 1040 and 1140, Combat Guile screws that fight because he doesn't allow them to basically do their Hadouken spam because he breaks the combo. So that's how I beat both the stages, by the way, is that, you know, Combat Guile basically interrupted them, and then my Mad Ryu cleaned up after that. So just a little bit of a heads up, because I see a lot of people saying 1040, 1140, like Combat Guile or somebody like him. Now you also get the big one right here, which is not much more better, but it gives, you know, damage. So I guess that's better. And that's what his true damage turns into. So Combat Guile goes to S. He's not an SS. He got nothing to protect himself, basically. And he can't start combos. He has to be set up. And he's really slow with not much, you know, health or defense. Dan. Poor Dan. Street Fighter 5 Dan did him well. But as far as, like, it's just, he has no redeeming qualities. You see, his scales is all B. Like, he's really a support character, though. That's what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to support you and buff you a little bit, but even the buffs are trash. So, unfortunately, I didn't mean to do that. Unfortunately, the homie Dan is going to be the first C. Like, you can just deal without that character, if we're being completely honest. All right, so this is going to be a controversial character, controversial take. Decapre is actually a good as hell character. Her life and her defense is trash. But if you need a character, if you need one particular character killed, it's Decapre. You need Bison killed, Decapre. Decapre brings the fire, yo. She's a good character. That is literally her only defining trait, though. That is all she do. That's all she good at. But if you build her, when you pick one character that you definitely need to get out of there real quick, Decapre is that character. She's just going to be doing that. She has such a good kit when it comes to assassination. Again, well, she is an assassin, and then she gets pushed when you go to 2 damage. Like, this is lit. That is lit. So just keep that in mind. No, that is what she's for. She's an assassin, and that's what she do. Now, with that said, we're going to put her right here. She's going in A. She can't really be an S, because that's really all she does at the end of the day. All right, so next up is a DJ. Where's the homie DJ? DJ is probably down here. All right. Okay, DJ. Oh, I don't have him. Oh, it's because he's not max level. That's why. So DJ is another character. DJ is another balanced character. He is not a tank character. I see people, but you forgot DJ, and didn't really matter. Like, his scaling is a B. His defense is an A. His strength is bad. His speed is middle of the road. The defining things in DJ is his special, because as you can see, he gets a little bit of a super armor shield going through that, so that's pretty cool. And his 2. That's kind of like basically it. All the rest of the stuff that he does, like, this is a sucking attack, by the way. But they have to be near you, and you're probably usually only going to get the tank, and you're not going to get anybody else. So he's going to be doing that, and if you put him in the front while he's doing that, he's going to get blasted, because he really doesn't have much to defend himself when he's doing stuff like that. So sadly, the homie DJ is gonna go down here to B as far as usefulness. Dhalsim, the character I truly don't like in this game, but he's good. Even regardless of how I feel about him, it don't make him not good. Dhalsim is a ranged character. Okay, when it comes to his strength stat, he does not have life. As you guys can see, once you get to him, he basically kills over. And his defense is not great either, and he's one of the slowest characters in the game, basically with the base 105. However, homie got Yoga Flame, which burns you. Got the fire. You got that. And this. And that. Which is the worst thing to get hit by in this game, because it hits you the entire time. It is going in the air. So if you're standing right there, he's shooting the fireball. It's burning your hairline off, going behind your head, burning your backbone in your ass, and landing on your damn toe and burning everybody around you. Like, he gives so much flame stacks. This move is so ridiculous. Like, it does so much damage and then has a nerve to tick over time. And then when you put it together, if you have Ken in the team or Sea Viper, you just burn alive, basically. He is such a scary, annoying to look at character, but you gotta respect him. All right, so Dudley is the first character on the list. It is mad gimmick. He is gimmick man. That is what he does. That is how he roll. So what you do with Dudley, and his other version is kind of like the same thing too, is you're supposed to use his drunken combo to kind of screw people over. He's a balanced kind of character too. He's like he's one of the counterattack characters in the game. Base Ryu is a counterattack character too, and Goken is a counterattack character, but Goken parries and then throws out. So I guess Ryu does too, but Ryu's is so whack that anyway. His scaling is life. His scaling with life is an A. His defense is a B. His strength is a B, so not that great. His speed is middle of the pack. Again, his strength lies in his corkscrew blow, and when he throws out, he debuffs, like basically with that. Got nice with his combos. He does have this slam right here, and his uppercut. Okay, and again, you want to just counterattack with him. It's very gimmicky. Majority of the time, you're not going to get it off, so it's just going to be an A. It's not that great at all. Edmund Honda. Edmund Honda is the kind of the man, but he falls short in a few places. Okay, so as you can see, E Honda is a S in life. The first time that we got S in life and on this list, he is a D in defense. So, you know, obviously being a big thick sumo man, he can take some hits. The problem in this game is that life, if you notice, doesn't work like as you would expect it. You can have a bunch of life in this game and watch it just fly away for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. Both global and Scion is the same exact way. You can stack life and it won't mean a damn thing. Basically, defense is always king when it comes to tanks. I think they should work on that somehow. Like, I don't know. Maybe defense. I mean, maybe the offensive stat is too out of control when it comes to that. But that's the problem overall with the life tanks, is that you just feel squishy, even though you really shouldn't be squishy. And the defense tanks feel like they just sit there forever. So that's the underlying weakness, because obviously he's scaled off of his life. The same thing like Hugo. Hugo has the same problem, by the way. But he has a very good shield. Got a very good shield. Like it's awesome. And on top of that, when you get his true damage combo, as I said, this changes everything, having the true damage stuff. Now you can you get, you know, the baseline hype like this, but what this one does is it does the knockback, and you go far back when you get hit by that. Then he gets the combo. So whoever didn't get knocked back by that will actually get the combo. And then he throws the shield out as well. So that makes him like OP, like really good. To me, not Makoto good, but we're gonna throw him up in S. Now, next up, Elena. I really don't have to explain Elena, do I? But I will show the scaling because to be on parity with everybody else. Elena just doesn't have the heal over time. I for the whatever reason, I think they're not gonna even put that in the game for her, but she does have the true damage, defense, and full heal, which is amazing. Like if you're dying and you pull that off, basically, and seeing she full heals and then throws defense up on you at the same time. And the true damage, she has it in global as well. She's like one of the best overall characters in the game as far as when it comes to being a healer. She has an A on life, an A on defense, which is crazy. No attack. Well, she only has one attack anyway, which is her special. And her speed is 106, which is one of the slower, obviously. But, she is, in my opinion, the best healer in the game, even minus her heal over time. So she gets the SS right now. She gets the SS. So Fashion Blanka. I don't think I have Fashion Blanka for the scaling over here. Yeah, I don't have him. I think that's a good song that we used. Where is the homie Fast? There he is. So obviously I don't have this character to visibly look at, so to speak. And the wiki in this game doesn't help either. By the way, the wiki website no longer even exists. Like it's really weird. And don't tell me this is not gonna load now too. It's because we doing a video now. Or do he just not have a page? Because that could be a thing too. No, he just don't have a page. Yeah, you don't. Some of the characters just don't. So I can't even do that. But regardless, what he does is he's a paladin character. And you see right here, I just want to put it in a little example of what he actually does. He has the fire and he has the shield at the same time to do damage. He kind of works like a more hybrid version of Blanka. But in my opinion, it's still not that great, but definitely cool. So where I'm going to put him at is an A, because I don't feel that he has... I don't think he excels on many places. He does well in a team, and he'll probably do even better in a set. But I don't think that which is one of the reasons why you literally can just over time kind of earn him. So that's probably why they did that. Okay, so I actually don't have scaling for this version of Dudley either, but I'm putting him in A as well because he's a more offensive variation of Dudley, or the main Dudley. He's kind of cool. He can't be a B because he ain't trash, and he can't be a C because he's mid. If we're being honest, he's mid. He's a cool character. I like his concept and everything else like that. But it is what it is. He's mid. Fashion Sakura, I don't have that either. But Fashion Sakura, in my opinion, is a S, and the reason why, she's a paladin character, and she has a broken combo with Bison, which I think that they'll eventually get rid of. So that's gonna be no, it is what it is. She's a good character though. She's a good DPS, another one of those paladin type of characters, and she can easily go into SS. Depending on what her true damage is, I can't actually see what her true damage is right now. So I'm going to leave her at S right now. She might rise up to SS as soon as I find out what her true damage is and is OP. But for right now, she's on S because I think, you know, she's whatever else. And she doesn't do very well. And I've been trying it, and she just doesn't do very well in draft. In my opinion, Rose actually does better than her in draft. So Fei Long. Head back in, so I'll let you guys see the scaling. I do apologize for not having the scaling on some things. Oh, we just hit the reset, 4 o'clock. Homie Fei Long, as you can see. Now, Fei Long is a good character. He's a good, cool character. He has a good damage. He has some fire debuff on him, and you can actually build him towards that with his passive. Not so much in global, but he has that over here, and you see good push. He's a good push character. He's going to push the field for you. And he has a 1 and a 2, so you can just kind of like, you know, put through. Great push character. Okay on the offense. Not good on the stats. B, A, like just under being kind of okay on speed too. Just under that. So, you know, it leaves him mid. It just leaves him mid, which is where he's going to end up. Mid. Gen. Now, I don't have Gen. I don't have any scaling on Gen. Gen is a speed assassin character. Gen actually is kind of like the homie. He actually runs really well in draft and does a pretty good damage. And he has the opportunity to actually combo with close to everything. I want to put him in SS, being that I think he's the fastest character in the game. Nah, I think I'm putting him in SS. I can't disrespect Gen like that. I can't. He does like and I know his scaling is high because he hits like a truck. So I can't disrespect the homie Gen like that. Being one of the fastest characters in the game and an assassin type, and then has a debuff on top of that to weaken. Like you can't disrespect the homie Gen like that. He got to go up there. All right, so Guile. I was thinking about it, but I was like, nah, we can't disrespect Gen like that. Where is Guile at? Again, this list is going to change as new characters come in, and as I learn what everybody's true damage is and global. If it's the same, in fact, it could change. We're not saying that it's going like it, but for the most part, it's probably not, because 98% of the game is the same, going from global from CN to global, regardless of what people. Some dudes, as you can see, are ignorant to it and just want to fight and just be like, but it's like it's going by TW, and TW is going by what CN is. And if you're seeing that global and TW are basically the same, doesn't that mean that I like I said, maybe it's me. All right, maybe it's me. It's funny that somebody in the comment section like to a person like you can't be this dumb, and like I'm like, bro, don't. But at the same time, it's what everybody is thinking. So is what it is. Guile actually is the same as Combat Guile, believe it or not. However, there is a slight difference. He has better close range AoE of all his shots, so he actually can knock back down, and he actually has this skill which can push people away from him, including the true damage one, which basically is a pushback and on top of being a knockup, which again, that would be great if you have him to that point in PvP and draft. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to put Guile right there, so an S. So you see a lot of stuff like is a little bit above mid. There's stuff that's just like, you know, SS tier, and then stuff below. And now we have Guy. Now Guy actually, like Decapre and Cammy, can straight kill Bison by himself. Where the heck is he? He's all the way at the bottom. There. He can just straight kill Bison by himself. He just dive bombs. He has good speed. He does not have good life. Does not have good defense. He has okay strength. And the speed is where it's at. What you are building Guy for to do is to just come out there and find the weak link and get him. He has okay stun on this. This will stop a combo, by the way. It's that, and then he has his true damage right here, which, as you can see, is just ridiculous. And then his overall damage input right there. So what I do with Guy, he's not garbage, so you can't really put him in garbage tier or like a B or C. He got to be mid because that's just his job. Hakan is just a weirdo, but where is Hakan? There he is. Hakan is a one-trick pony. He is meant for you just to dodge with Hakan and be annoying, basically. That's all he does. That's all he's good for. He does have his one where he's gonna just run around and do that. Again, that's gonna be CC. He has his throw. And he has that. Also, one thing I noticed in PvE, now that I'm looking at a lot of this stuff, a lot of the PvE units are using their true damage attacks, which is troll. You're trolling Crunchyroll and Capcom, but scaling is a B on life, defense is an A, C on strength, not good, B as far as that's like really slow. So we are going to be putting him down in B. He's not as useless as Dan, but he pretty close. He can be in C one day. So next up, Hugo. Hugo has the same problem. There he is. Hugo has the same problem as E Honda. There are life-based tanks. And life is just like, it might be the weakest stat if I'm being honest, because it just almost means nothing. You just stack all types of life, and the game don't care. It's like, oh, you got a 1,000,000 life tank. Well, I've said this before. I'm doing 1,000,001 damage, easy to you. His defense scaling is actually not bad. His strength is not great, and his speed, I think that's the slowest in the game, if we're being honest. Where he gets some interesting stuff is his mechanic, his chip mechanic. But here's the thing. If he gets stunned and chain stunned, that's the majority of his kit taking advantage of eating those chips. And you see, and his true damage, he gets a shield, which he gets substantially better for getting that shield. He had it in one, but right here, he gets the slam. So he gets that and then throw, but you this and then you get the slam. See, like if he can't actually get that chip buff out and take advantage of this, like it's weird. But he's also an interesting and good character. And in draft, because he gets a shield. So he's not trash. I can't, because he's life based, I can't put him as S. He's definitely not an SS. So yeah, he got to go in A and mid. Got to go there. And I would call, I don't want to make another tier, because if he would be like A plus, if we're being honest, but I can't put him in S tier because like, if you stun him, he's kind of useless. Like he's just gonna stand there and die. So it is what it is. So Ibuki. Yeah, it's Ibuki. All right, so Ibuki is, as you can see, another assassin type of character. She is a ranged assassin type of character, kind of like how Chun-Li is. So she ends up in a bad spot and not very useful in the game. Sadly, she just has her EX move is more useful than her actual character. If we're being honest, her scaling is a C for its life. Her defense is a B. Her strength is S. Her speed is in the mid, around at an A. It's just not great overall. So we're gonna put her down here at B. Juri. Now, I don't have Juri. However, Juri is an assassin character, and Juri is actually excellent in draft and excellent in PvP. The problem with Juri is Juri falls over like she got a D rating in life. Like, I don't even have to see her skill and to know that she has a D rating in life. So if you actually get a handle on Juri, Juri's like dead. Like, I don't know why that is. So that keeps her from being the SS, in my opinion. And then on top of that, her skills put her in danger of being hit, and she has nothing to protect her, basically. So she just runs out there and be edgy and die, basically, but do mad damage. So I gotta keep her as a S. She can't be a SS. Ken. All right, so we messing around. That was obviously OBS. I didn't want to do that though. Ken is Ken is a god in China, because he can upgrade into that. He still has the same scaling and global, so he has a B, A, and then a B and A. The problem, and he's not actually that bad speed wise. The problem with Ken and global is he can't. He's a B character, and he doesn't have a Street Fighter V version. I don't know why they did that, and it doesn't look like that. Even if you can't even actually get him. I maxed him on purpose on global, if you guys saw, to see if I could actually unlock the Street Fighter V version, and no, the Street Fighter V version is just not there. And CN Ken is the debuff Fire King, and probably one of the highest DPSs in the game as far as damage over time, if not the highest DPS in the game. He still has shades of that over in global, but for the most part, he's almost pointless to actually even use, outside of doing like a burn team if you want to use Dal and Viper and him. But I don't suggest it, to be honest with you. So even though he's my favorite Street Fighter character, he's a B. Okay, so Mad Ryu. There is he. I think there he is. Mad Ryu is not great on life or defense with Bs, and he's not fast. What he is a cannon, and that is what you're supposed to use him at. And again, like people told me in the last video, he does have this move as true damage, and it is a push, giving Mad Ryu a freaking push on top of it being an uppercut, and it doing mad damage with 390 right there. Is crazy. It's craziness. Which takes away this, because this is garbage, by the way. I hate it. He misses this majority of the time, by the way, because he'll just run, and then it's wherever the character last was. So if the character moves literally like an inch, he misses, basically, and wastes the whole 3 combo, which is why I just hate it, to be honest with you. When he lands it, it's OP and does good damage. But this is better because he'll run and then he'll go forward and still hit. So he has a better chance of actually hitting this attack. But with that said, he hurts himself and tends to die pretty fast because of the way that his scaling is. So he's definitely not going to be an A. He's just going to basically be an S tier. So now Makoto. So you guys know I'm just, Makoto in this game is OP. I don't use her in global, in CN anymore, because I have this man, and this man is a direct upgrade over everything that Makoto does. Basically, he's just Makoto, but better in every way. Where is she? However, we don't have him in global. We have Makoto. So Makoto is an S in defense, and she scales off her passive kit. Her strength is absolutely garbage, but she scales off of her chi, which builds up over the time of actually doing her attack with her special, along with her defense. So she buffs her defense and her attack at the same time, which basically makes her a damn juggernaut. And she has some of the best push in the game. Like almost everything she does is push. Her life is an A, and she's very slow. With that said, you watch me basically almost single-handedly with this one character just go through content. Every single content in the game, Makoto is good at. There's just nothing that she's bad at in the game whatsoever, and she's one of the easier characters as a tank to make because she's obviously not a premium character, and she's very easy to build and doesn't need a lot of gear right away. But when you give her a lot of gear, she just is just a god. So, and this is not me just trying to convince you. I just literally do this in your face every day. She's the god tier tank. 100. People will say this, that, and the third, but she's just the god tier tank because she's good at everything. The only thing that she does not have is a shield, and you can give her a shield at the end of the frozen cave, because you can basically do the frozen cave and get a shield EX move. I mean, a shield fighting, shield spirit, basically, that gives a shield at the beginning of the fight. So she becomes even better because you just automatically just got a shield on her now too, which is just messed up, by the way. So yeah. All right, so Mayor Cody. All right, Mayor Cody doesn't have very good scaling. Like, they seem to have done him dirty across the board as far as everything. He has an A in life, a B in defense, a C in attack, A in speed. He's about mid in speed. His one defining thing again is that it knocks back, it gives fire debuff, it protects him. He's like invulnerable during it. Everything else, for the most part, other than this right here, which this is a true damage combo that he'll get at max, which is good push. Everything else is just kind of like eh. And that's just more damage, and as you see, like the fire debuff, and then he gets like a little bit on that. But his scaling for doing that, he's technically supposed to be a support character anyway, so I don't understand giving him this, and I've always never understood this. Like, you're supposed to be support, you really shouldn't, like, his kit shouldn't take him to get smacked, but it does. So I'm putting him in B, because I don't think that his kit was thought out. Rolento. All right, so where's the homie Rolento? All right, so Rolento is an interesting character. You see, he's pretty mid as far as where his scaling is, except for attack. They didn't give him a lot of attack. He's meant to defense break. That's what he does. That's literally his gimmick is just, you know, defense break and be annoying. And not many characters are like that in the game anyway, so you just kind of like want to just take advantage of that. So where I give him, being that like he literally has one defining feature, he gets to B. All right, Rose. Now obviously I don't have Rose, but where I'm gonna put Rose is an S, because Rose is very hard to put together with other characters outside of being a turtle team. And if you want to have a turtle team and go stack and have, like, you know, Abel and Blanka and Rose, which I'll hate you because that's toxic. That's literally what she's for. She doesn't work well on a more offensive team. Her attacks really don't do a lot of damage, and she's good for her debuff. So she's good in draft, and I haven't lost since. Like, if you guys saw that last video, I had to take Fashion Sakura out of the draft because she just wasn't doing well, and put Rose in. I just haven't lost since. Basically, Rose is doing an excellent job with that, so she deserves her spot in S. I won't put her as SS because, you know, maybe I'm just not using her right or not seeing it. But I don't see her as being like God tier. I just see her as being really solid. Maybe like if I had an S plus, she would be S plus, but not SS. All right, so Rufus. Where is the homie Rufus at? There he is. All right, Rufus is, I'm surprised. When I looked at this earlier, I was surprised about his stat scaling, which is A life, D defense, and his speed is an A too. His strength is obviously not that great. And again, he's another one of those characters that's supposed to be like support and a mid-road, and it's kind of okay. He's really just a spoof character and really doesn't do much of anything, like even like all his push and everything else like that. He's just, in my opinion, he's just there because he's a character and they just have to put him there. So I'm putting Rufus in B. He like, again, he's not as whack as Dan, so it's what it is. All right, so Ryu got the raw end of the stick. Ryu's always supposed to be mid, but they made him extra mid in this. He's extra mid. Now, his Shinku Hadouken is okay and pretty good damage. He has his natural right there. He has his parry, which he'll parry once and then, you know, do his thing. And then he has his Denjin, which his Denjin goes through, which is pretty nice. And then he has kind of like a similar thing to his Mad Ryu, but if you notice, he goes forward, so he connects with it more, and he gets 300% damage on that as well. But the thing is that he's Mr. Middle and does nothing really great other than has like a really big offensive stat right there. Like he can scale really well off of you know, attack stats and everything else like this. But we get Mad Ryu for free, and there's literally no reason to use this right now, which puts him in a bad spot. So that puts Ryu down here in B. And on top of that, it's like he's a B rank character, so he's really just fodder at the end of the day. There's no reason why you should be ever using like that Ryu, unless you just like day one, 10 minutes into the game, there's no reason to ever use Ryu. So Sakura, base Sakura, believe it or not, where is she? Base Sakura is actually really good in CN, not so much in global though, because she's a B rank. And then eventually when you get Elena, there's literally no reason to actually use Sakura. You see all of her things are pretty low. She has B as far as life, C defense, B strength, and B defense. She has a pretty good kit though. They gave her a pretty good kit overall. Like, this is really fast and it knocks down. Like, they just gave her like really good stuff. Like, all of this is just useful overall. And then she has the heal and everything else like this. But even with her kit and scaling and everything else like this, she's still a B, so she stays in like that. T-Hawk is a weird boy. There's a weird boy. Where we at? Was T-Hawk really at the top? Could be. Or do I not have him in CN? That'd be weird if I don't. Oh, I actually don't have him. Unless I'm being weird and don't see it. Yeah, I don't have him. Okay. That's cool. We still can break it down. So T-Hawk, in my opinion, is pretty mid. even without me actually seeing the scaling. He does do pretty well as far as CC and knocking back, and he actually does well, I've seen, in draft. So if you don't get, you know, characters like Bison and everything else like that, he's a good substitute for that, because he's going to push back basically and be a tanky character and make people have to force through. I think the really meta thing to do in draft is have a tank and a support tank to actually be able to, and have both of those if they're on the tanks and the support tanks, to basically push and force people to actually go through that to get to whoever your main DPS is, and just try to survive to the point of just pushing to the field as best as possible. All right, we already got Bison, so he was just here twice, unfortunately. Poison. Poison is a good character as far as using her charm, and as far as her special will go through people, and she has good attack. And she has the ability to CC everybody doing that as well. And this particular move right here, this move hits hard for some reason and screws you over because it gives shock. On top of that, she's just a good all-around character. She doesn't really have much weaknesses, if we're being honest, outside of her defense just being really low and her speed not being that great. Her life overall, no, not that great either. I would put her middle. She gets middle because she can't be up here because her stat scaling is not that great. As you guys can see, she has a lot of use. Again, like if I had an A+, she probably would be an A+. If we're being real, she would be an A+ with Hugo. All right, so I included Monster Hunter Ken in this because he's coming soon, and I know people are gonna ask like, well, where do you rate Ken, like Monster Hunter Ken? And I do have him, and you know, been like just messing around with him since I got him. I got him literally like the day after he came out. So Monster Hunter Ken, basically, I was about to say Monster Ken. Monster Hunter Ken is a balanced character. He's really not supposed to be meant for a front character, even though he has good scaling across the board for everything. So you could actually use him that way, but you're really not really supposed to have him in the front. He's supposed to be a support to go on the stack. Basically, he should be behind like a Makoto or Bison or something like that. And what he's essentially going to, him with Bison is going to be an absolute nightmare, by the way, because you have to deal with Bison, but at the same time, you're going to have to kill Ken too, because in order to kill Bison, you got to go through everybody. So to have Bison in front of this guy who basically can offense break you is going to actually be harder. It's going to be harder, yo. The combination of those two, the way that Bison currently is, and people are going to be mad. So PvP wise, great. PvE, he's not that great. He's very hard to use in PvE and make it be relatively useful. Because again, he's not necessarily a tank. You will find use with it, and it'll be fun, if we're being honest, especially if you end up fighting certain characters, or I'll put this out there for you guys, he'll be great against boss fights. Now, the boss fights where they're going to actually, because there's no such thing as a boss being completely immune to everything. This game doesn't do that. You can actually debuff them. They'll resist sometime, but they'll always be able, if you can burn them. Now, certain things will be like, they have elemental advantage, so if you try to burn the fire boss, that's not going to happen. Like, you'll get like maybe like one tick off, and then it'll like resist it, or resist some of it, or it'll fall off because you won't be able to get the debuff back on, because it'll keep resisting it. There's that. But for the most part, stuff like defense breaks and offense breaks, unless you miss, bosses don't like, they don't resist that type of stuff. So he is going to be very, very good for nerfing bosses and making you take less damage. So just keep that in mind going forward, that if you're fighting a boss, what I changed my mind because originally I didn't really care, and the way that the system works anyway, you're gonna have to work through the system to actually get Ken, because direct summons aren't going to directly affect that. It's a separate system. And I have a video on the channel literally showing the system, and you're going to get tokens based off of how much damage you do to the Goro Magala, basically. There's going to be achievements out there that's going to get you more tokens out there. There's probably going to be packs that we're probably going to be able to spend on to actually get stuff, and there's probably going to be other ways, if I remember correctly, in the store to actually buy tokens, and it's going to open up in tiers as you do more damage. That's just the way that the boss fights go. It's the same thing across the board. It's like it's not going to be any different than that. People have screenshots already, and it's the exact same stuff that it was in China. Nothing's different. It's the same. It's same UI, same store, same, like everything is just the same. So it's gonna be a advantage for people who buy packs, 100%. But people will be lucky and just like one shot get them in the beginning, which is the beauty of this game. You guys see me do that a lot in CN, where you use one token and you just get the character straight up. You just come out. Like, that's what happened with Hugo. Like the Hugo recently, it was the same type of event that is coming up with Goro Magala. Like, I fought the boss, basically fought Hugo, which is what the boss was, and then I got a token, one token, mind you, and just straight up went in there and got Hugo. Basically, I was like, oh, okay, I'm done, peace. And that's how it works. Obviously, that's luck, and that's not gonna be everybody. Like, that's gonna be a very small population of people that actually do that. So the whales are going to have a little bit of advantage because there's obviously going to be packs and stuff like this. But let's finish this up. We are going to put him right here. He's not going to be God tier because he's not good everywhere in the game. He's just not. He's good against bosses, and he's good in PvP. But if it's a boss with other characters, he's not going to be good at that. Like, he's just not. You're better off using other characters. You're better off literally using like Chun-Li and Bison and Combat Guile and Juri and Ken and stuff like that over him, to be honest with you. And Mad Ryu. You're just better off doing that because he's just not going to be that useful in that sense. But he hits hard and he has auto crit, so just keep that in mind. But I'm putting him in the S right now. All right, so we have Yang. Now, Monster Hunter Ken could go, if they change him out of like just a little bit more than what he is in CN, and like he got something extra out of that, he could change out of S into SS. I'm bugging. Oh yeah, he's one of the buff characters, so he's gonna be up here. They're both gonna be up here. Yep. All right, so as you can see, he's one of the faster characters at 120. He's not faster than Chun-Li or Ken or Cammy and all the rest of them, but he's okay speed at 120, which means that he will, do attacks faster if you have him in the field with Ken and Chun-Li and stuff like this, which you would in over here, because he was a water unit, which water was like speed crazy, and it was an extremely fun team dynamic element to actually use because everybody would just get to go first, like even with the normals and everything else like that. He is meant for push. That's what he is, because obviously he had like GG. This is a combo break, by the way. That's literally what this is just a combo break. So if they're doing a combo and you hit them at the same time they're doing a combo, it literally says stop. It cancels it, which is amazing. However, over in global, not really that great and useful, so fortunately he's down here. Yang, which is great. Yang is great over here. Again, speed and everything else. His scaling isn't that great. His attack isn't that great. Yang surprisingly is similar. He's a little bit better attack wise, and he does the same thing right there where he will stop a combo too. But again, kind of mid, so you're just not gonna really make much use out of that. So he's going down to B. And the last, but certainly not least, is the homie Zangief. Now, Zangief basically is an Anderson character because pound for pound, he's the best standard tank in the game. And what I'm basically meaning is when he is standing there, he has a scaling in life and a D scaling in defense, and it scales also off defense. So as long as he's standing there, he's good. Notice I keep saying standing there. The problem with Zangief is he does this stuff. And while he's doing that, all this space underneath, if they fire or they run there, what ends up happening if it's a fast character, all they do is just run underneath him. It's the most infuriating thing ever. This is super armor buff and everything else like this. And then he has this, which is great. But then he does that again, which I think that to balance him for being such a pound for pound good tank, they did that to take him off the field. So he's just not standing there the whole time. So essentially what I did in the beginning to make him stand there all the time is I would just never use the one, and I would never use his special. The problem with that is that this all scales off of defense, and he gets like a defense buff out of this, so you kind of like have to use the one because that's where his scaling is. So he kind of gets like the catch-22, so to speak. And then on top of that, he gets a gigantic nuke from defense scaling. 800%. 600% when it's not in true damage. But when you get true damage, he gets 800% based off of defense. So you want to scale as much defense as you can on this man. Like all the defense gear that you can. Like in the future, we're going to probably have things that can directly affect defense. And there is stuff that directly affects defense right now. Like the grid stuff. These, which they made into singular type of things, they directly affect defense. You can even go for EXs that directly affect defense, that directly affect him. And pound for pound, as far as like tank for like standing there, if you keep him standing there, he's better than Makoto. As far as being able to soak damage, he's just the best in the game. He's soaking damage the best in the game. You're gonna stand there like the Siberian bear that he is, the gangster homie, and do his thing. But again, they lock you. Like they it's like they knew. They're like, people just gonna stand there. Like, so like you like have to do this basically to get his scaling going. So I just don't use them. To be honest, I just don't use him. But pound for pound, he's the best raw tank in the game. Overall, the best tank, in my opinion, is Makoto. But as far as absorbing damage, if you just need somebody to stand there, if you want to even be gangster, you can put him in behind Makoto for some gangster stuff, because then it don't matter if he jumping up in the air like that or put Makoto behind him. Like it don't matter at that case. Both of them together would be some messed up type of stuff, and then you got full defense on him with him nuking with that 800%. That's some fun stacking right there, boy. But with that said, we're done. We're done. He is gonna be an S, and yeah. So that is my tier list. We have Bison, Chun-Li, Elena, Gen, and Makoto in SS. We have Abel, Beast Zan, Cammy, Combat Guile, Dhalsim, E Honda, Fashion Sakura, Guile, Juri, Mad Ryu, Rose, Monster Hunter Ken, and Zangief in S. Pretty there. I don't see them moving out of that except for maybe Monster Hunter Ken and Zan maybe. And again, we don't know if they're gonna make Monster Hunter Ken slightly better, because how they treated Bison basically, and Monster Hunter Ken is going to be directly influenced by packs too. That's what happens in events, if you didn't know. And Scion, like you straight up, like they have stuff in packs, like it happens. Like this is the store right here. What's going to end up happening? Not this right here, of course. But what's going to end up happening is they're going to have packs for the event. Like there's no event right now really going on outside the Phoenix event, and you see they have a pack for Phoenix right there, $328. I think that's $100. You see, they're going heavily on the Phoenix pack right now because that's the event that's happening currently this week until we get to Makoto's event, where it'll probably be Makoto's boss fight. It's just right here. And it's probably definitely gonna be Makoto's boss fight because they're giving car parts right here and that. So, and this is the Phoenix event right here, which is basically a battle pass, but you can influence it directly like that, and that's generally what's probably gonna happen when it comes to the Monster Hunter thing as well. So. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry for the length of this. I tried to do it as fast as possible, and I will catch you guys next video. Peace. Thank you, Legends, for getting to the end of the video. We do 3 to 4 videos every day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be first in notification squad. I love everybody who stops by, and I will see you next video. Peace.